looking ahead to week 7. I know we talked about a couple or mentioned a couple of the games, but to start, Detroit Lions and Baltimore Ravens. One of the biggest games of the week. Obviously, the Ravens haven't kind of opened up the offense to what we've expected. They've Lamar's been playing well. There's been a lot of drops. There's been a lot of penalties, untimely interceptions or fumbles and whatnot. And then they have a tough defense with the Lions coming in. Obviously, the Lions have, some injuries at the running back position, but they're rolling right now. What are you guys kind of feeling for the game? Who are you guys rolling with?
I believe in this Detroit team, man. This might come back to bite me, but I really like the makeup of this squad, especially the defense. Yeah. And I think they'll give Lamar some fits, and those receivers, if they don't step up how they're supposed to step up, and I don't think that they will. I got Detroit in this one, man. And honestly, even though like Baltimore's at home, I get that. But they are coming back from international trip. Detroit's kind of primed and ready. Mm-hmm. I got Detroit. I don't even think it's gonna be that close. I think they win by at least 2 scores.
I got the Ravens. And that's more so along the lines of Detroit. They need that. They need their running backs. They need that running game to open up that passing game. And if these they hurt. I don't know if who's playing or who's going to be out.
Yeah, we'll see. Still up in the area.
I'm gonna roll with the Ravens.
I'm also going with the Ravens this week. Of course, consistent with my Super Bowl pick. But
oh my god!
but I think it's coming along. The offense is slowly coming along, and I do think that the Lions. It'll be a tough last game that they kind of the stretches of games that they've kind of had to play against some of the tougher teams this season. I think the Ravens ultimately get them. I think that we will see another touchdown or some big plays from Jameson Williams this week. But finally, I think ultimately we'll see a Lamar Jackson game-winning drive.
Game-winning pick probably.
But that's something we haven't seen too much. I think that we see a Lamar Jackson game-winning drive for this one, and I'm going with the Ravens.
All right, I respect that. Yeah. Before you go forward, though, let's recap because I know I'm gonna talk my shit a little bit. Because I got 5 out of the 6 right last week.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
I mean, I got 1.
I got like 0 probably.
No, Chris got 4 right last week. So I got 3.
Oh, shit.
So we all picked Kansas City. We all picked Detroit. You two picked the Chargers who lost. And both of you picked Indiana who lost. But Chris, we picked Cincinnati. And they won over Seattle. Those are the big ones. And then y'all two picked Baltimore. And I didn't. That was the only one I lost. The Baltimore-Tennessee one. Which,
I don't know why you picked them.
They could have won the game still. So, I mean, yeah, I should have picked Baltimore, honestly. But I'm talking about shit, though. So I'm in the lead. Yeah, that's a good week for me.
Okay, yeah.
So what's the standing?
The Cash probably took over.
Yeah, I took over now. 18, 17, 16. 18,
I'm 16.
Chris got 17. Yeah. I got 16.
I'm coming back, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we can head into the next game, the Thursday night game, the first game of the week. New Orleans Saints versus Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a tough game. This is a tough game to pick today because we do not know specifically if Trevor Lawrence is going to play tomorrow. I mean, we can assume that he is going to play. What you guys got?
It is a short week, and it seemed like a more serious injury than they were letting on. But he said the right things, so far this week about him playing. As much as I want to pick Jacksonville, I got to go New Orleans in this one. Honestly, though, I don't think you're at home, short week, Thursday night game. I like to go home teams, but that's all I really got for that. Honestly,
I got New Orleans, and that's just because they need it. They need it.
They better win.
They need it.
They better win.
I really want to go Jacksonville as well, but with the Trevor Lawrence injury, I'm not sure if he or CJ Beathard, I think, is going to play. The Saints do play a lot of man coverage. This will be a big game, or should be a big week if Trevor Lawrence plays for Christian Kirk. He's excellent against man coverage, and obviously, Calvin Ridley is the route runner, but their offense, I keep saying it, the offense still is it's it's not looking like, in my opinion, like how we expected. It's not this explosive offense that you would kind of expect out of a number one quarterback. So ultimately, I am obviously the Saints have a really good defense. I think, like you guys said, the Saints got to get it going. I want to shout out Warren Sharp, somebody I follow on Twitter. Does a really excellent job. He's actually been tweeting for quite some time, some years really, that Derek Carr is probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the red zone. And honestly, I'd have to send you guys the thread, but I mean, it's actually some eye opening stuff, and I mean, it's starting to show true. I mean, the Saints the Saints have no problem really moving the ball, but it's always in the red zone, or it's always in on that opponent's side of the field where they kind of struggle to get in, especially passing the ball. And then obviously how the game ended this week. I'm hesitant to pick the Saints, but I'm gonna roll with the Saints, like you mentioned, at home.
Okay.
And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I mean, I would not be surprised though if Jacksonville go out and win this game because of Derek Carr, but we'll keep that going. With the
Yeah,
next
but the next game we could check out is the Chargers in Kansas City, and like I said, it's kind of starting to lose its luster because of how the Chargers have been playing, and I think I obviously I picked the Chargers actually to win this division.
yeah,
So
you
with that
did.
being said, kind of like you guys went with last in the last picks with the Saints, the Chargers need this game. The Chargers need this game bad. Um, they're kind of due for a game against Kansas City as well. They're all their games recently have come down to the end. So I'm gonna roll with the Chargers. They really need this one on a short week after a tough loss.
Man, let's put up a shut up, in my opinion, at this point with the Chargers. I mean,
Facts.
They
if
got
you
to.
lose this game, I understand, but
You
it's a
lose this game, the
divisional
season.
opponent.
Lose this game, you're 2-5. It's not looking good.
And
Right.
I do want
They
to get into that
need,
after this, after we finish our picks a little bit.
but
But go ahead, Chris.
I want to go with the Chargers. I'm gonna go with KC, man. I'm gonna go with KC, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
KC.
I just don't see it, man. It's one, if it ain't one thing, it's another. They'll be there. Then Brandon Staley, let's go to fourth down on our own 13. Why, bro?
You
Like,
never know what you're gonna
it be
get.
type stuff like that. It'd be like, all right. So
They
nah,
need
I'm
this
gonna go
game.
KC.
And I'm gonna go Chargers actually, and that's mainly because I don't believe Kansas City is as good as their record.
I don't either.
We saw what they did against Denver last. Now they do have a longer break between games, but with the Chargers having a shorter, I mean, they just played Monday night. Kansas City played Thursday, so they got that little leg up on them. But I don't think Kansas City is as good as they should be, and I think the Chargers can get them one, even on the road. It's gonna be tough, but
And
I got Chargers in this one.
the Chargers played them close on the road last year. They were obviously leading most of the game, and then they ended up throwing a pick six. That really changed the game there. Joey Bosa also didn't play. I feel like his normal snaps on Monday night. Obviously, he was coming in injured, and I think that a lot of that had to do with them knowing that they had this game against Kansas City coming up. So that'll be something to see if he plays a little bit more and can kind of get after Patrick Mahomes. But with that being said, for our next game on the docket, we can go ahead and look at the Falcons and Tampa Bay Bucks.
Big one, boy.
This is
Big
a big
one.
Man.
It's a big one because obviously we'll know what the Saints are looking like by the time the Falcons and the Bucks play. So this is what for the first in the division,
Yep.
ultimately. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you lead off, Cass. What's up? What's up,
I'm
man?
gonna go Atlanta. I'm waiting for Baker Mayfield to kind of fall off, man. I think he's had a good season so far, but I think it's gonna all just revert to the mean, honestly. And I think our defense gets the better of Baker Mayfield in this one. I think that's what we ride on. Now Tampa Bay has a good defense as well. And of course they're feeling it coming off of a loss too, a tough loss against Detroit. But I think we get right this week. I don't see us losing back-to-back games again, so I want to go Atlanta in this one.
Okay, what say you, Chris?
I'm going with the Bucks.
I know it. I already know.
I think how the game gonna shake out is y'all not gonna be able to run the ball. they gonna force Ritter to put that thing in the air. Gonna get ugly.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm also gonna go with the Bucks. I think that the Falcons the Falcons are gonna play well, I think, defensively, but I think the Bucks I actually think that Baker's gonna continue to play well. Their running game needs to get going. And it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the Falcons have a good rushing defense, and
Yeah.
the Bucks have been playing better defensively against the run. Vita Vea has been a lot better this season than he kind of was last year. But with that being said, I do think that ultimately I trust Baker more than I trust Desmond Ritter at this point. And I think that in a low scoring game, I think that ultimately
Yeah.
turns out to be the difference. And we kind of start to see that the NFC South is going to be a lot similar to how it was last year, where it's struggling to the end.
Yeah, struggle to the end. They probably all had the same records, and whoever has
Yeah.
the best division record wins probably in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't hate it. You know what I saw from Atlanta last week. I'm not surprised anybody picks against them, but I'm gonna stay true. I'm gonna stand on business.
Okay, standing on business. All right, bet. So with that being said, we got the biggest game of the week.
Yeah, sure.
Speak up, Chris. It's Philly versus Miami. It's Jalen versus Tua. The Alabama quarterbacks. What's up? Who you got, Chris?
Sunday night football.
Sunday night. I got the Eagles, of course. It's a bounce back game for us. It's gonna be a good game. My thing is, I actually, somebody said this on Twitter. I didn't even look at it, but I understand Miami. Their offense is putting up like astronomical numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but every team they done play only got one win, except for when they
Except
played the
Buffalo.
Bills and they got smacked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's up,
Well, and the
what's
Chargers.
good with them. Well, they did play the Chargers. They got 2 wins, so I take that part back. But I mean, they just played the Panthers, who don't have a win. Play the Giants, who have 1. Who the other team they play? They played Denver, who only got 1. So I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think it's gonna be a good bounce back game for us. I think we're gonna ultimately get the dub.
Okay. This is a tough one. This is a tough one to pick,
It's a
man.
tough
I know
one.
you picked
It
Miami,
is a tough
bro.
one
Come
to
on
pick.
with
No,
it, bro.
I'm gonna actually go Philly in this one, man. I'm gonna actually go Philly in this. I think y'all muck it up for them, especially at home. I think y'all muck it up in a way that it's a clear game plan. It's tough to execute that game plan, but it's a clear game plan. You know who they're getting the ball to,
Especially if them corners ain't
yeah,
right.
yeah. It's good. It's gonna be
Man,
tough to execute that.
hey man, that D line gotta eat.
But I'm gonna go Philly in this one though. I think y'all got y'all loss out the way. Bad taste. I think y'all go on a mission for this one. So I go Philly. All right. What
This
say
is the
you?
toughest one.
Speak
This
up.
is the
Speak up.
toughest one. So this is kind of a small, not a revenge game. Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Tua took over for Jalen Hurts in college, which ultimately led him to go to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah.
And I really want to. I really want to pick Miami. I really want to pick Miami,
Well,
and
pick them then.
not on some troll shit, but they're about to run through them DBs.
I mean, fact.
It's
I ain't,
it's
It's gonna be tough.
it might get ugly for them DBs, especially if Slay ain't right. But ultimately, I think that the Eagles will be able to slow the game down.
Yeah.
Miami's defense is they're getting some good news with Jalen Ramsey practicing this week, but
they
their
said.
defense is still not. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say they said he's not playing this week.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not
It'll
probably
probably be
playing
a
for
But
like
couple,
also,
2-3 weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
Xavier Howard, he didn't practice. He got a
Yeah,
groin.
yeah.
So
So with all of that, I do think that it'll be a high scoring game, probably in the 30s, maybe close to 42, like 37 or 38, something like that. And I think Philly ends up pulling it out. And typically when you see a team suffer a tough loss, you typically see them bounce back, especially with it being at home. I'm going Philly.
Okay, always got
And we got
Philly.
that Kelly Green, yo.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
Got
that.
me one too,
I
Cam.
saw that. You got
Cap.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
big money.
Yeah, I mean, them other games. It's we got 6 teams on bye weeks this week, so it ain't a lot going on in the NFL this weekend. So you can't let that
But
be.
we can. I always say this, but it makes me laugh. I say we can switch gears because it makes me think of LeVar Ball. When he said that shit on ESPN.
You can switch gear with me
We,
anytime.